Hey guys, welcome to Thrup's Reading Nook. First of all, let me start by thanking all the likers, commenters, and subscribers on my channel earlier. It has been really a great journey for me, and your kind words really inspire me to read more and review more books and post more videos. I've got a book review for you all today. It's called Hacking Darwin by Jamie Metzl. I think I've crucified that name. But the book is about genetic engineering and the future of humanity, and Jamie really looks inspired about the prospect of genetic engineering just in a short while from now, and what is happening at the time. He's really inspired by all that, and he takes an example of a fertility clinic where he goes to in around 2050, and what he sees there is somewhat in the backdrop of the book. This book was recommended in one of the videos that a friend of mine, Darby from Live Forever, Die Trying, had shown in one of his videos. I was really inspired by his review then, and so I wanted to pick up this book and read it. And boy, was it a great book. It is one of the best science books that I've read till date, and it is about how humanity is growing right now, and how humanity will grow in the future. Jamie talks about how you can basically tweak a few genes here and there and change the entire personality or physical appearance or physical strength of a person. The book really moved me a lot, and basically I'll want to cover 5 important things that I read in this book. So, the first thing that I read in this book was that sex as a concept for procreation will not be used in the future, which is kind of mind blowing for me, because we've always read that reproduction through sexual activities is kind of the only way of reproduction possible for human beings, since we are mammals and mammals do that. If you were amoeba, cell splitting or something like that will also be possible for you. But since we are human beings and we are mammals, sexual activities lead to reproduction. Jamie picked an interesting topic here and says that you won't need sex for reproduction in the future. Basically, what will happen, according to Jamie and according to a few other scientists who believe in the concept, would be that you would basically have a device that will stick on your arm, collect 100 milliliters of blood, that's like a small amount. From that, stem cells will be generated, and through that, you can trigger embryos and semen and basically mix them together and cause reproduction. Oh my god, well, that's an amazing concept, because you won't need a surrogate mother for gay people or people who cannot have kids. They won't need IVF. They would just need something like a device on their arms and you'll have a kid. That's really amazing. I'm really stoked to see something like that in the future, because it would really be great. One of the greatest achievements for science till date. Second thing that I really found interesting in this book was that he says that we can steal immortality from gods. Something that has really scared me about my life is that someday it will end. And I think that fear is there in everyone's lives. Someday our lives will come to an end. But there are jellyfishes, or there are certain other animals whose example he takes in the book, that live for a very long time. And what they do is cell rejuvenation. So he takes this interesting topic where he says that by triggering a few genes in the human body, we can also go for cell rejuvenation and trigger certain things in our body that he covers in the book, and you will have to read, which can cause us to be immortal. Well, not really immortal because we are mortal beings, but have a really long life. It's an example of a woman in Paris who lived up to 122 years old, and he talks about it in a kind of a balanced way. He's excited about the fact that the woman lived up to 122 years. He talks about a lot of things which are marked as blue zones where people tend to live longer. But then he also says that we don't know what will happen at 123-year-old. So we don't know what diseases might affect us when, but he is very excited about us being in the future and us living long lives. I think it is a really interesting topic. I think I would want to prolong my life as much as possible, and would want to go for this gene change or whatever, so that I can prolong my life. Third thing that I found really interesting, and I found that there is opposing powers to it as well, is that there are GMO crops now available which can withstand any or all negative conditions. So basically, we all know that in India there are hundreds and hundreds of droughts over the years since independence. There have been countless farmers who died because their crops could not withstand the absence of water. The same thing is happening in Cape Town, South Africa. The same thing is happening in Mexico. The same thing is happening worldwide. Africa, you name it, it's happening there. Farmers are dying because their crops are not able to withstand the absence of water. So what he is saying, we can go inside the crop and modify the gene such that they can stand absence of water, and they can withstand several other conditions such as going bad, potatoes becoming rotten, apples oxidizing. He takes that example as a really important example where he says it has already been achieved that there's a gene that can affect the apple in such a way that it stops oxidizing, and so it stops turning brown as soon as you, like, if you leave an apple for 5 minutes out, it turns brown. But that is because it oxidizes. So basically you can just alter the gene of an apple and you can stop that. You can stop it going bad. Immediately you can do that. But there is strong and vehement opposition to this, and something that is very painful. I have kind of myself always believed that Greenpeace is doing something really good or something, but after reading this book I found out that Greenpeace is not really doing good, because they are attacking a special kind of rice which he calls the golden rice, and they are not letting it grow in experiment in Philippines, which will basically enhance the quality of rice. And their Greenpeace as an organization is not letting it grow. It is very painful for human beings and for science. And 100 Nobel laureates have written to Greenpeace saying that you should stop doing such nefarious activities and allow the crops to grow. It is as simple as that. you should allow the crops to grow because science needs to go forward. Another important thing that I learned from this book is that there can be an arms race for genetics among human beings or countries in general. It is already happening. China as a is becoming a leader in genetics. Europe, USA, these are all becoming leaders. They will eventually fight over the kind of genes that they want to have. He takes example of sports where he says it will be sports will get mingled with genetics and people will try to enhance such genes inside humans which will increase their sports playing capabilities and make them better sports people. The last point that I wanted to talk about is that this all can lead to eugenics, where good genes are promoted and bad genes are prohibited from presenting in themselves in the future. This has already happened in the history, especially in 1945 when Nazi Germany and Hitler decided that they want to promote Aryans as a race and they killed off so many Jews. It has also happened in history in India where female infanticide was there, and it has all other examples as well. I think eugenics is something that can come in where people would want their children to have better genes, obviously, such that they will have more stronger control on their emotions or better bones, better physical abilities, higher IQ. He takes the example of IQ where he compares the IQ of Arnold Schwarzenegger, who has an IQ of 135, and Albert Einstein, who has an IQ of 150, a 15-point difference. But that 15-point difference can lead to you are seeing, right? It can lead to a difference between the two people. If that would have been longer, it can lead to a daft person versus, he calls it a daft person, versus Albert Einstein. And so eugenics can come into play where people can selectively enhance people or children, promote their race in such a way that it can lead to only good genes being promoted in the future. And that is something that is really painful because it will take away all the diversity that humans have. And diversity is something that is really good for humans till now. And he also talks about how diversity is important for us. And this book, I would say that this book has provided me a lot of new information that I did not know about genes, about genetics, about genetic engineering. It also shows me that there are authors and scientists alike, like Jamie Metzl, and hundreds of examples that he takes in the book, who are really excited about the fact that genetics can lead us to really good human quality life, but are also wary of what harm it can do, and so they are balanced. I'm sure that Jamie thinks about genetics as a concept that is important, but he also understands the harms and the dangers that it can pose. Well, that brings us to the end of the video. Thank you for watching the video. Thank you for continuing with me in my journey. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe on my channel, and please do not forget to press the bell icon. Also, please note that I am really excited that I am on Instagram, and my handle will be on here. So you guys can go and follow me there, and I'll be posting extra content and really good photos of my books there. And I think you can see some of my photos in the background, and they are some of them are my current reads, and some of them are my future reads on like my TBR list. So I'll be picking up on them, and I'll be I'll be picking them up and reading them and posting reviews about them. So stay in touch. All right. Thanks.